friend of the court, male witness, come to the stand.
What were the actions of the scarred Pink Panther?
Objection!
On what terms?
On terms of Loftus Theory.
Proceed.
Dr. Loftus, how about a demonstration of your experiment? What was your hypothesis?
So glad you asked. If eyewitnesses are asked questions that contain false presuppositions about the witness event, the false information may be incorporated into the witness's memory.
Let's go experiment.
Okay.
Come on.
Four experiments were done where two groups of subjects were showed the same video then asked questions. Each experiment had a different video and a set of questions. The control group were asked straightforward questions, and the other groups were asked questions with false information.
In the first study, a group saw a film of a car accident. After the film, the group was given a questionnaire that had 10 questions and contained no false information. But for half of the subjects, question 1 was worded differently.
In the group that had been asked about the stop sign, 53% of the participants claimed that they saw a stop sign, 35% claimed to turn right when they was seen. This difference was statistically significant.
In the second study, 40 participants were shown a short clip. After watching the film, the group received 20 questions to answer. Half of the participants were asked, was the leader of the 4 demonstrators who entered the classroom a male? The remaining participants were asked, was the leader of the 12 demonstrators who entered the classroom a male? 1 week later, the participants returned to answer another 20 questions about the film without seeing it again to see if their answers would change.
The group that had received the question presupposing 12 demonstrators reported seeing an average of 8.85. Those who had received the question asking about 4 demonstrators averaged about 6.40. This was also a significant difference. This experiment showed that on average, the wording of one question altered the way participants remember the basic characteristics of a witnessed event.
In the third experiment, the participants watched a video of an accident involving a white sports car and then answered 10 questions about the video. Half of the participants were asked how fast was a white sports car going when it passed the barn while traveling along the country road. The other half of the participants were asked how fast was a white sports car going while traveling along the country road. The participants returned 1 week later and answered 10 new questions about the accident. The question under the study was, did you see a barn?
Of those participants who had previously answered a question in which a barn was mentioned, 17% of them answered yes, compared to only 2.7% in the no barn group. Once again, this was statistically significant difference.
In the fourth experiment, 3 groups of 50 participants viewed a short film from the inside of a car that ends with the car colliding with a baby carriage pushed by a man. The 3 groups then received booklets containing questions about the film. One booklet contained 40 filler questions and 5 key questions directly asking about non-existent objects. Another group received a booklet with the same filler questions and 5 key questions that contained presuppositions about the same non-existent objects. The last booklet contained only 40 filler questions. 1 week later, all the participants returned and answered 20 new questions. Of the questions, 5 were the direct key questions that were asked the week before.
Combining all of the questions, the overall percentages, the participants answering yes to the direct questions 1 week later, were 29.2% for the false presupposition group, 15% for the direct question group, and 8.4% for the control group. The difference between the direct question group and the false presupposition group for each item, as well as for all the items combined, were significantly different. These experiments confirmed Loftus' hypothesis. Loftus found that memories can be reconstructed with false presuppositions. Loftus' experiments showed that if a question that assumes false information is asked, an eyewitness may have altered memories that incorporate that false information.
Loftus, your findings have held up quite well to the challenges and have been supported in areas of memory reconstruction and eyewitness inaccuracy. It has been supported by other researchers in the field also. As for the witness's statement, the power and reliability of eyewitnesses in this judicial proceeding are now justifiably questionable. How could the witness be sure if it was him? She can't remember if he was wearing a scarf or not.